Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV. I'm here at 11th Cloud Expo, Silicon Valley. I have with me Jean-Pierre Laisné from CompatibleOne. Welcome, Jean-Pierre.
Merci.
Oh, as we can hear, Jean-Pierre is not from these parts, but CompatibleOne is because it's now a member of the great cloud community.
Oh yes, CompatibleOne is global. I mean, CompatibleOne is more global than that. It's open source, so anybody around the world can reuse it.
Now, you can't get more global than open source, that's true. And what is it, when people meet you on the train, Jean-Pierre, and you say, I'm a CompatibleOne guy, how do you explain it to them?
I explained that CompatibleOne is a cloud service broker. I mean, a cloud service broker can be defined in three different ways, but it's an intermediary between consumers and producers, and it also enables to integrate different services together. And finally, it helps also to choose what kind of providers according to the customer's criteria. So if you want quality, if you want quality of service, if you want security, if you want a price, then the broker will choose it for you according to the SLA that the providers will publish on thanks to CompatibleOne.
And I mean, let's be honest, it is a complicated space, and having expert advice to make those choices, it does make sense, yes?
In fact, when we worked on the project, we thought about cloud computing. Shouldn't it be interoperable, so we have a kind of utility service, and so you can change from the one you want. And so we started by that. We must be compatible with anyone, okay? And so it was a real trick to get there, because we had to somewhere to unify all the interfaces, because all these APIs provided by Amazon, by OpenStack are quite different. And we find, I would say, let's say I'm French, so can be arrogant, a very smart way to do that. And we made what we call proxy and PLOCCI. So we are using OCCI standard to enable to, let's say, describe any kind of cloud resource. So that means any service can be considered as an OCCI category, so, as an object, and manipulated as such.
So that's the CompatibleOne approach that makes it a little bit different from everyone else's.
We take it from the other side. We think that the broker has no right to, let's say, perturbate what the operator wants to do. So we do it outside. We take the consumer point of view, and we try to match it with what the provider can fit with. So that means that we can be considered as a tool to federate different clouds. So for instance, with OpenStack, you can federate different OpenStack operators, and you have pools of OpenStack. For instance, that's what we're doing with Intel, having compute trusted pools. So we deploy workloads where the nodes are trusted. But you also can consider it as a marketplace. So that's what we're doing, for instance, with a startup here called ComputeNext. So they provide some data about the providers, and CompatibleOne is provisioning and deploying on the right ones.
And that would be a typical client, a typical engagement for you?
Yes, let's call it post-cloud, because so far people are very interested by cloud management platforms to make it private or to make it public. I mean, that's why OpenStack has a good role to play there. What we are providing on top of that, on top or behind or whatever you call it, is a capability not only for OpenStack to be in private, but also to interoperate with other clouds or other OpenStack providers. That means that you're not stuck with only one choice. You can burst to workloads on anywhere, or you can do a disaster recovery quite easily. And that's what we want to prove and demonstrate and offer it in open source, so we can accelerate the adoption of such architecture, and because such architecture that people call hybrid are very useful to make enterprise more agile.
Are you finding the right kind of customers? Are we bringing you the right kind of customers at Cloud Expo?
Oh, it's very interesting, because in fact with Cloud Expo we are launching really the project. We worked on the project since 2 years. I mean, it's a project that has been financed by France to develop a vibrant ecosystem around cloud computing in France and Europe. And now we are very happy to be here in the States and announce it to the rest of the world. So yes, thanks a lot. We meet a lot.
Thank you. And let's follow then where CompatibleOne goes as we go to New York in 7 months' time. You better get moving, because there's a pretty short time. We'll be talking again.
And we'll have news also there. Thanks.
Right. See, that's not arrogance, Jean-Pierre, that's self-confidence, and that's entirely allowed. Thank you so much, Jean-Pierre Laisné, for talking with us here on SYS-CON TV in Silicon Valley, California, and thank you for following along on the World Wide Web.